Hey everyone, it's Miss Stockdale, and I am here with one of the activities from this past week's uh, STEAM kit. And I wanted to work with you on how to create it and some ways that we can extend it for our learners. So let's just go ahead and jump in and get started. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to set it up like an experiment. So if you notice here on my screen, I've kind of got some things that we can go by. I'm going to move my person over here so that I can see the rest of the screen too. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to ask a question. What do you want to learn or test using the materials in the kit? So the very first one that we have in our storybook of directions is how can we create a toy out of objects we find around the house? So think about what objects that you have. What can you find by just looking around the room, outside, whatever, and then gather up some things and then figure out, okay, well, with these items, what kind of games do I like to play? What kind of games do I wish I have at home, or what kind of toys do I wish I had to have at home? And then what can I do to make it come to life? So the next thing that we have um, on this slide are things that we could find in our kit that I thought would make a great toy. First of all, we have paper, glue sticks, cardboard, crayons, string, and scissors. So from here, what can I make to entertain myself during the quarantine? Well, the next thing on our list is to study, to do some research. And there's plenty of ways we can do research online. Some of the stuff we can look up would be on Limitless Libraries. We can just look up through Google, Pinterest, you know, talk it up with our friends and family. Um, some of the questions we might want to ask are what materials are safe to use? What are some ways we can adhere, which means to stick materials together that would be safe and easy for people to use? And then what toys have been made at home before? So maybe we can use somebody else's design and make it better for us. So here's where I found my research and what I took from the research. On the right, you can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse moving around, but here's where I found my research. So I went to some blogs. I went to a museum of toys in Canada. And then I did some research on the 19th and 20th century toys that used to be made at home. And here's what I learned from doing that reading today. Toys can be made from different materials that were just laying around the house. A lot of families create their own toys to help reduce the amount of trash that they produce. It also helps children to practice skills like how to use simple tools, problem solve, and to be creative. Some materials that you can use are old clothes, soda bottles, water bottles. I mean, I've got plenty of these laying around, right? Bottle caps, cans, string, rocks, aluminum foil, cardboard, toilet tissue rolls, corn husk even. So go around, find what you can, bring it together, see what you can put into the works. And sometimes you might need an adult or another person to help you cut or glue pieces together. Sometimes it's just safer that way, and sometimes you just need an extra set of hands. So now we need to do a hypothesis. But what is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is a statement that explains what you think will happen when you're done with the experiment. One of the sentence stems that you use when you're creating your hypotheses, you can say, I am hypothesizing that blank will happen. So what do you think is going to happen when you have all these materials to put together? What do you think the answer to our question is? Remember that our question is, how can I create a toy out of objects that's found around the house? Here's the hypothesis that I came up with. See if you can come up with something similar or slightly different. I can hypothesize that I can create a spinner using the materials that I have found around my house. I can also hypothesize that my family members will see how much fun I have making it and playing with it. And they're going to want to join in that fun as well. Sometimes it's really good to edit what you write, right? So the next thing that we have to do is we have to experiment. So we need to set up our experiment. Make sure that you're safe always. So in order to be safe during an experiment, sometimes you might need to wear gloves, especially when you're working with glue. eyewear when you're working with things that might pop, or scissors or something like that. Look at what materials you're using. Is your process easy? And think about when you're building it, do you have to change anything from your plan? So the first step is to gather the materials that are safe for you to use. Write down a set of directions or draw a blueprint to show what you're going to do. And remember that you may want to redo this work, so the more detailed you are in your note taking, the better it'll be. All right, so here's how I set up my experiment. These are the notes that I took and the detailed plan that I created. So in order to create my spinner toy, I will follow these steps. Number 1, I'm going to gather the string, cardboard, paper, scissors, glue, and crayons. Excuse me. I will construct my spinner by cutting out 2 circles of paper and 1 out of cardboard. Next, I'm going to color my paper and glue them to both sides of the cardboard. After the paper is glued on, I'm going to cut 2 holes in the middle of the circle, and this is where I might need some help from someone else. Then I will thread the string through the 2 holes, join the ends in a knot. After I build my spinner, I'm going to see how long it spins, because I'm kind of curious to see if this is going to be like a really short spinner or it's going to take a long time for it to unwind. I will also watch the reactions of the people in my house just to see if they're going to want to participate. All right. So here is me getting ready for our experiment. So the first 2 steps here is I'm going to construct it by cutting out the circles and coloring them and gluing them to the board. So you can see the pictures there of me doing that. After the paper is glued on, I'm going to cut the holes in the middle. And this is definitely where I could have probably used something under the table so that I didn't mark the table up too badly. So when you go to do that, please make sure that you're safe. Lay it down on one side and poke a hole in it, and then go to the other side and poke a hole from the other side as well. Do not hold it in your hand and try to poke it, because you could accidentally cut your hand. And if you're using a soft wood surface or a plastic surface, just be careful, because I don't want you to tear up anything. And then finally, I had to string it through. And one of the ways that I was able to string it through easily was I took the point of the scissor and I took the string, laid the string over the hole. You can't really see there. Ooh, I'm disappearing. But put it in there and then use this to poke it through. If you have a needle at home, you can thread the needle and do it that way as well. Okay, so here's my experiment. After I build my spinner, I'm going to see how long it takes to spin, and I'm going to watch the reactions of people in my house to see if they want to participate. So let's watch this little video real quickly. Hopefully the sound works and everything as well. Oh, it's not going to play in the video, in the PowerPoint. Oh, crappers. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Why does it want me to do all that? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Maybe if I restart it now. I am so sorry. Here we go. Okay. So I had video evidence of me participating in that. Ooh, hopefully it doesn't go too fast there. Okay. So now we have to record it. So we have to record the data from our experiment. I use a video for parts of it to help as well. So data is information that you're going to observe throughout your experiment. So because I was using a spinner, it's kind of hard to get, your reaction, other people's reaction, and think about how long the time is for the spinner to go. So having a video to record it helps to capture some of those aspects of your experiment. So some of the questions that you might want to look at when you're thinking about your spinner toy or whatever else you decide to create. One, did your toy break easily? And one of the things I noticed that because of how I poked a hole in with a scissor, I don't know if you can really see, but some of my cardboard is getting cut by the string because of the more pressure that you put on it, the more it's going to wear out. So that's one of my issues that I'm coming up with. Next, did your toy do what you thought it would do? Think about that. I mean, I got it to spin, right? How easy is it to play with? Is this a toy for all ages or just for certain age groups? And then how long did it twist or spin? So here is my recordings. I'm going to try to move my face again. Here we go. All right, so after I build my spinner, I'm going to see how long it will spin, and I'm going to look at the reactions of other people. So I created a chart, which you can see over on the side. My title of my chart is Timing My Spinner, and I tried it 5 times. Excuse me. The more times that you try it, the more data points you'll get. And if you really want to impress Mr. Bailing or your math teachers, you might try to put this on a line graph as well. So the first time I tried it, it only went for 10 seconds. The second time, 22 seconds. The next time, 17. The fourth time, only 8. And the fifth try, 19. So one of the things that I could ask myself here is which number is bigger, which number is smaller, what happened to cause the numbers to be so different, what is the difference between the highest number and the lowest number, what is the average number of seconds that my spinner spun. All right, so now for the second bullet point with the reactions of people in my house, I had to go to the different people and animals in my house to get that idea. So first off, when I got done with making my spinner, my chihuahuas were the closest animals or people to me. So Sapphire and Fox, they didn't like the spinner at all. They ended up getting scared and they didn't want to be near me while I played with it. My roommate, Miss Marcia, which you heard on the video, she didn't like being woken up by the spinner, but while at lunch, she took it and was playing with it and said it was very calming. And you heard her reaction in the video, right? So I think she liked it a lot. Mr. Ken said that he wants to make one on his own, but instead of it being just random colors and shapes and patterns, he wants to make his own drawings and cartoons on it. My niece and nephew, Kason and Calais, they tried to actually steal the spinner last night. So I was able to save it and show them how to make their own. All right. So the conclusion part. Here's where you get to answer your question from the beginning of the experiment. After experimenting with my materials, I can say blank. So were you able to use all the objects you found in your home? Did you have to go out and get something to help keep it together? Or did you have to supplement it with something to make it work? How did you like your toy? Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? Do you want to improve on it? And if so, what do you want to do to improve on it? Okay. So I liked playing with my spinner, as you can see in the video. I noticed that when I hold the strings tighter, the spinner is going to move faster. When I hold the strings less tightly, the spinner is going to go slow and it might dip down. I kind of want to play with what I can make the spinner out of next. I kind of wonder if I don't have the cardboard in the middle, what's going to happen? What if I use stickers or the jewel stickers to put on here? What if I use a marker to color and not crayon? What if I have a heavier string or a yarn? Maybe a shoelace even. What happens if my strings are longer or shorter on both sides? Is that going to change how fast it spins? Don't know. What if I make a smaller disc or a larger one? Like maybe out of a paper plate, right? What if I try other shapes? What if I use a square or a rectangle or a diamond? what's going to happen then? And then I kind of thought about using coloring sheets. If I take coloring sheets and cut them out, will that work? And also, I want to know how to make the spinner last longer because, yeah, it lasts for, up to 20 seconds, but what if I want to continue to spin it? Think of like a yo-yo. If I had a yo-yo, I could get it to rewind itself. Is there a way I can do that with a spinner? Can I do tricks with a spinner? Not really sure. So, all right. That kind of walks you through it. And I wanted to send you this link right here. And this will be on the post that I have. I don't know why that's saying thank you for choosing Norton, because don't want to. And this is the book that I'll be reading for you guys pretty soon that goes with this lesson. So I'm excited for that. Okay. So here are some activities for you. The very first thing I have is I have the PowerPoint that I just showed you. If you're in grades 3 through 4, this one will be for you specifically. So this is an article about a man in India who creates his own spinner and uses it to help countries that don't have electricity in the healthcare system. So there's an article to read, and then the activities below. So we have comprehension questions after you do your closed reading. A Frayer model. So the Frayer model is set up for you to practice the vocabulary words. So I highlighted some, or I made some words bold so that you can take them and put them in the middle of your Frayer model, create your own definition, add synonyms and antonyms to it, and then use the word in a sentence or draw a picture of your own so you can remember it easier. And then here are some things that you can also try as well. We talked earlier about Mr. Stockdale wanting to do some cartoons on his. Well, Johnny Depp actually, when he played in I don't remember what movie it was exactly, but he created a birdcage optical illusion using a spinner. And these are the directions to do that. Okay, so let me go back to the Google. Now, for my lower grade friends, I have this one for you. And my 3rd and 4th graders, feel free to use this as well. So I have this for you. This is your cards about the science experiment. The only thing I'm going to say is make hypothesis comes after the research. So you might want to cut it out and swap them around. Here is a sheet for you to work through your blueprint. So draw it out, make labels, write your plan out, and then do your reflection. There's an article about the history of toys with some comprehension questions and challenges. And then underneath at the very, very bottom of the page, there is some vocabulary words that you can practice a word search, a word scramble, a crossword, some more information on toys and the history of it. And then lastly, an idea that we had was if you could use the color wheel for primary colors or secondary colors to make patterns. That would be a pretty neat little extracurricular that you could do with it. Maybe you can make more than one spinner and see which ones work the best for you. All right, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this look into the science kit. I'm going to try to do a video a week and pick one of them. I might be able to do more than one depending on the activities that's inside. If there's an activity that you have from the kit that you specifically want more information about or a walkthrough for, let me know in the comments and I will definitely get it to you. You can also message me on Class Dojo or just message any of your teachers and they will get it to me as well. All right, hope you all are having a great day. Keep learning, keep doing science, and keep letting us see those the projects that you're doing. Remember to share it on social media using the hashtag RCBears, and we would love to see them. Send it to your teacher or send it through email, whatever. Just get it to us so that we can see your faces. All right, love you guys. Bye-bye.